Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So some news in regards to the career of Joe Joyce. His ring return has now been announced. He will be fighting on July the 24th at Wembley Arena in London, and he is fighting the heavyweight veteran Carlos Takam. Now, Joe Joyce has been a victim of how the heavyweight landscape has played out in the last few months. Obviously, we were led to believe that we would get the undisputed title fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and depending on that was the future of Joe Joyce. If that fight did happen, we would have got Joe Joyce versus Alexander Usyk for the interim WBO heavyweight title. So obviously Joe Joyce was waiting on that outcome, and in the process a few months of his career were definitely wasted. Bear in mind, his last fight in November against Daniel Dubois was his career best victory to date, and he could never really capitalise on that. But now the undisputed fight has fallen through, and his potential fight with Usyk has fallen through. Joe Joyce has to resume his career, and they've chosen Carlos Takam as his opponent, you know? And all in all, after 8 or so months outside the ring, I think Carlos Takam is a perfectly acceptable opponent for Joe Joyce to come back to. Carlos Takam, of course, is a heavyweight veteran. He's certainly seen better days at this stage, 40 years old, but he has been in there with some real good top-level competition. Derek Chisora, Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, Tony Thompson, Mike Perez. He shared the ring with some real good fighters over the years, and he's always been one of those guys who gives a good account of himself. He's not going to be one of those guys who goes in there, takes one punch and falls over. That's not Carlos Takam's MO. He comes to fight, he's relatively aggressive, he's quite durable, he's very experienced, and all in all, like I said, I think it's a pretty good comeback opponent for Joe Joyce. And also it's a fight where, you know, Joe Joyce can make a statement. If he can deal with Carlos Takam in better fashion than Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, etc., then that's definitely a good look for him. And yeah, all in all, I've got no problem with this opponent for Joe Joyce. Also, stylistically, I actually think this will be a pretty good fight to watch, you know? The last time Joe Joyce fought a smaller heavyweight like Carlos Takam of any real quality was Bryant Jennings, and, you know, Joe Joyce had some problems in that fight. Maybe Carlos Takam can give Joe Joyce some of those same problems. You know, in that fight, I felt Joyce was hurt with a body shot against Bryant Jennings. Carlos Takam, for a heavyweight, is a pretty decent body puncher. He can definitely throw shots down there, so I'm looking at Carlos Takam to maybe pose some of the same problems that Bryant Jennings did, and then see how Joe Joyce reacts this time around. And yeah, I mean, what else can you really say about this fight? You know, it's it is the fight we was expecting. Frank Warren was mentioning Carlos Takam or Tony Yoka. I always felt Tony Yoka was highly unlikely, given given where he's at in his career right now. I didn't think they would risk Tony Yoka in this sort of a fight, to be honest. So I was always expecting Carlos Takam. It's the fight that we've got, but I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts below. What do you make of this fight? Do you think it's a good comeback fight for Joe Joyce? I think it's perfectly acceptable. After this though, you know, well, providing he gets past Carlos Takam, I want to see something big from Joe Joyce in the winter, you know, in there with like an elite level top 10 heavyweight. That's what I would like to see, but we'll see how it pans out. Share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.